guys, this is Kelly. I am back with another process video. This layout is for Cocoa Daisy, and I created this layout for the Designers Challenge that we had this month. And the Designers Challenge was to create a layout that had a special type of border. So what I did off camera to prepare for this layout was I just took several of the day in the life cards from the kit, and I just trimmed different lengths and widths. I just took colors that I liked with the red, the light blue, the darker blue, and then I put in that card that has the white and black just for some contrast. And now I'm just moving them around to a design that I like. And what I'm trying to do is have a little bit of that dark blue interspersed all up and down the column. I'm trying to have little pops of red and have that pale blue kind of break up the border as well. So that is my thought. It's just a lot of playing around and trying to get which different lengths and widths that I like. I have done this type of border before, and I really enjoyed the page it made for a clean page. This one is not as clean and graphic just because the designs of the paper are different. So, you know, it just goes to show that when you're doing things with the different patterns, you can lift yourself and do a page that's pretty similar, and they still look quite different just depending on the colors and patterns that you're using. So one of the things that came in the kit was a collection, the Fancy Pants collection, Real Life, I believe it's called, and it had these die cuts. And in the die cuts, there was a typewriter, a clock, a book, a pencil, and a phrase that said, "Remember the days." And when I was going through the die cuts, those ones that I just mentioned particularly stuck out to me, since my son is going to be a senior in just a few short weeks. And it's hard to believe that he has grown up so quickly. I swear I just blinked my eyes, and I guess I had a little old lady tell me once that the days were long, but the years are short. And if I have to say anything to new moms out there, I would say this. That is so very true. Sometimes it just feels like you cannot get through that day, and you know, that you wished that day would end, and that there's nothing better than seeing that baby asleep in the crib because, my gosh, you made it through the day and they're asleep. Well, let me just tell you, this is going to happen, and it's crazy. So, as you know, my little mama heart is just kind of breaking. I will not lie. It's happy that he's at this point, and it's sad because it's my baby. I thought that it would be neat to pull out a couple of his elementary school pictures and just show how much he's changed. So what I did is, the colors weren't the best for this, but I wanted to keep them the way they were because it just shows that time frame, and they didn't clash, and they didn't, you know, they were okay. So I mounted the picture of him on the right hand side on packaging. We had some pretty little studio goodies in this kit as well, and their packaging is phenomenal. I always love their packaging. So that is a little trick. If you get some of their supplies, take it out of the packaging and see if you can incorporate that onto a page. It's just another element that you can use, and I feel like it's like a freebie or a bonus. So I'm just going through different die cuts, and I am not going to lie. You are going to see me move around things. I am going to be moving around some of the same labels, different places. I was having some really indecisive moments, and so I actually end up walking away from the layout for a little bit, and I do come back to it and finish it at a later time. My goal was to have it balanced. And as a design principle, actually this kind of almost looks like the number 7, or it's like an upside down L. This is I can't think of what I'm trying to say. It's a good technique to use on a page to allow you to have that white space down below my photos right there. It's one of those ones that I have used. I don't use it all the time, but it is something that I have used before and I do like it very much. So again, my goal when I'm looking at this page is the right hand side is pretty busy, and I want to allow the page to have some breathing room on the left hand side, and I like for the embellishments on the page to make sense and to be appropriate for what I'm trying to portray in this page. There are several people that just make random look great. I just am not one of those. And I think kind of knowing where you stand with that and embracing it just really makes it all the better, so that, you know, you're not constantly trying to do something on your page that's just not you. So this is when I decided to come back to it, and I went ahead and I just randomly stitched some of the strips down with white thread. I chose white because I felt like I wanted the texture and I wanted the interest, but I didn't want to introduce another color. I thought that the red or navy just might be a little too much, and I wanted something very subtle, and the white is perfect. I don't feel like you can even really appreciate it until maybe you're looking at the page again and, you know, being able to look at the details. Then you realize, oh, look at that, there's just a little bit of stitching there. So at this point, I went back through my die cuts and embellishments in the kit, and I just pulled out anything that had colors or that maybe was school themed, and I had pulled out several other things that they don't all make it onto the page. Now the circle with the house down at the bottom will stay, but not the phrase beside it. I did not like the yellow in that phrase, even though it brought the yellow of the pencil down. I felt like it was just really out of place on the border strip, so I am going to take that off. And this little red gingham die cut, the die cut tag, I love it. I really tried to get that to work onto a page multiple times, and it's not bad here. I just felt like it was too much. It put too much pattern there. It was a little overboard, and so I leave that alone, and then I try to see if I can switch out and use the house that to me resembles a school, but that was too big, or at least it was too big for this page. So I'm going to go ahead and start sticking things down because I want to get the page done. I know that it can come together. I just, you know, I'm going to fight through it a little bit more. And, you know, sometimes pages end up like this. And I will have to say at the end, it's not my favorite page that I ever made, but I'm so glad that I kept on with the struggle and just, you know, worked my way through it because I do really like the way it turned out. So I decided that I want to try to see if I can move that tag on its side to see if it makes any difference, and it really doesn't. I'm moving the stars around to see if that helps to make a difference. I do know that that clock is going to stay on that corner of the photo because it is an empty spot on the photo and it doesn't really cover up anything, and it just adds to that little cluster. So I'm going to keep on trying with the tag, and at some point I'm just going to go ahead and take it up because I just realized it's too much. You can see my little fingers tapping. It's funny, something will get a hold of me and I keep trying to go, you know, on and to go through the page and to keep on putting things down, because sometimes things all of a sudden will just fall into place, and it really starts to have a different look, and, you know, it's coming together. So I walk away from the page yet again, and I didn't realize that I had not turned on the camera when I had pulled out the tag, and so you didn't really miss much of anything other than me putting down the title and replacing the tag with that tab on the side. So for the title, I'm using the Fancy Pants alphas that came with the kit, and I thought the K*5 would be a unique, creative title. You know, the picture on the left is of him in kindergarten. The picture on the right is, you know, when he was in 5th grade. If I journal on this, it will be underneath the title on white strips of, you know, that I've typed. I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to say. And I'm not sure that this page really needs to have journaling. You know, and I do journal and I do tell my stories, but I think this might be a layout where the photos tell the story. So I reserve the right to change my mind, but right now there is no journaling on it. So that's it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this layout. It was a little bit different. It was a little bit tough, but in the end, I do like the way that it turned out. So thank you so much for joining me. I do have some close-ups at the end. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.